Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As I was introduced earlier, my name is Michael Kernbach, and together with Robert Hall, we represent the estates of two young women who lost their lives on April 16, 2007. Before I actually get into the purpose of what an opening statement is in terms of showing you what the roadmap of the evidence is, let me tell you a little bit about what you're going to be hearing in terms of the evidence and how it plays into the issues which you have to decide. You have two main issues that you have to decide. Liability of the Commonwealth of Virginia for the deaths of these two young women on that day. And if you do determine liability in favor of the plaintiffs, then you have to assess, to the extent that you can, damages for the losses to the families who have suffered this tragedy. Now, in terms of what you're going to be hearing and seeing in the courtroom today and over the next week, you will be presented with evidence regarding a large number of witnesses on both sides, as well as a series of documents that you will be given, both by way of a display through the screen here, and you'll also be given hard copies of certain documents. I'm going to go through the witness list of the witnesses we intend, at least at this point in time, in calling. And I'm just going to read you the list of the witnesses so that you have an understanding of their names. And if in reading this witness list there are some issues, then please bring them to the attention of the judge. The witnesses that we intend are calling are Joey Albert, Ralph Byers, Blacksburg Police Chief Kimberly S. Cranis, Charles Eaton, Wendell Flincham, Laura Fornash, Stephanie Jessup Gallimore, and these are other potential witnesses: Colin Goddard, Ben Hahn, Heather Hall, Nancy E. Hall, Louis Heslip, Larry Henker, Beth Hilcher, Eric Hilcher, Patrick Hobbs, Kurt Krause, Kenneth R. Lowry, C.A. Meadows, Colonel Gerald Massengill, Kim O'Rourke, Leah Palmer, Michael Palmer, Grafton Peterson, Celeste Peterson, Harry W. Pryde, Karen W. Pryde, Keith Pryde, Harry Rulin, Gilda Scarpese, Joe Scarpese by deposition. And when you hear the testimony from Mr. Scarpese, the judge will tell you that even though he is not here testifying in court before you, you will be receiving his testimony by way of the deposition as if he was in fact providing that testimony before you here this week. Philip Shaneman, Charles Steger, Mala Tikala, Carl Dornholt, and H.A. Wilson. Now, those are the potential witnesses that you'll be hearing from. You may hear from all of them or some of them. It'll depend on a number of factors, and we'll see how the case proceeds. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the campus of Virginia Tech University in April of 2007. So if we can pull that up.
With the court's permission.
It's a little small here. We're going to give you a hard copy of the actual exhibit for you. But the circumstances of what occurred on April 16th, 2007 is limited to one dorm. It's Ambler Johnson dorm. You'll see it referred to in a number of different ways as the case progresses. For the purposes of consistency, I'm going to call it WAJ. That's what everybody knew it as for this particular case and the events that transpired on that day. But that's the part of the campus where that particular dorm is, and that's the only part of the campus that's relevant for the purposes of what occurred that morning